welcome back to Let's Talk Physical Media. My name is John.
And I'm Faith.
And today on the channel, we are going to be talking about all things physical media adjacent, and we'll just, shoot the shit for about an hour. We'll cover all the news, all your questions, anything you guys want to talk about. That's what we're here for. So, Faith, how have you been this week?
I'm good.
Good? You ready for your second episode, your second run in front of these guys?
Still nervous and stuff, but
yeah, you'll get used to it. It's just a camera. They're just out there staring at you. It's no big deal.
Okay.
You should be very thankful that you get a husband that looks this good, though.
Oh, yeah.
So we were going to do the food thing, but we decided, we're still working out the kinks of that. Faith had some ideas about us, maybe just doing food that I've never eaten before and trying it out. I still want to eat wings.
I think that would be really good because you're so picky with the food that you eat that if I can get you... And I love all different foods,
You
too.
do. I have like 5 key foods I like to stick to. I like, my Taco Bell. That's my favorite. I love some sweets. Wings are great. I love chicken. I love...
That's chicken.
Chicken, I love chicken. I love all kinds of chicken, whether it be Popeye's chicken. Remember Pudgy's? Pudgy's had good chicken.
Oh, you guys had a Pudgy's out here?
Oh, yeah, there's still one in Southern.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, Pudgy's was good. It was right next to the place.
In Baldwin, we had one, and they closed that down a long time ago, though.
Of course they did. Of course they did. And me and Faith just got out of actually seeing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which was a fantastic film. It's my personal favorite right now for the best Spider-Man film, but Faith didn't know going in that it's actually a part 1 to a 2-part movie. So the ending, it's hard to give a grade to a movie that only has part 1. It's like Dune part 1. If Dune part 2 doesn't stick the landing, it kind of ruins part 1.
Yeah, because think about Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the first one can be good, the second one can be good, and then the third one can be shit, and you ruin the whole series.
That's true. That is true. So. There's been a lot that have done that. A I franchises, I think I've come around on The Dark Knight Rises, but it's not the third best, and it's the third best in that trilogy.
Dark Knight Rises? Yeah, definitely. I honestly might like that better than The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight Rises you like more than The Dark Knight?
I think I might enjoy that. I like Bane.
Yeah, Bane is good. Tom Hardy does a great job.
Tom Hardy did an amazing job.
And the opening is awesome as well. I love the opening. Mm-hmm. No, brother. They're expecting one of us in the wreckage.
Yeah. I think The Dark Knight just was such a good film that people went into Dark Knight Rises expecting that kind of film, and they didn't get it, so that's why people put it that low. I like Batman Begins because it tells you his story. His origin story.
Yeah. It's the best Batman origin story we've ever gotten, just with the League of Shadows and... Ra's al Ghul. I think Batman Begins is the best in that trilogy. But I used to think The Dark Knight, but I think I burnt myself out of The Dark Knight because I've just seen it so many times. I saw that in the theaters 10 times.
That's exactly what it is.
3 times in a day, no less.
I think Heath Ledger's performance is amazing.
Yeah,
but
it's fantastic. It's a 10 out of 10.
That's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is the best part of the movie. So, without further ado, let's dive into the news, because there was actually some Shout and Scream Factory releases that have been announced for August of 2023. I'm going to run these by you, and again, just like last week, don't be afraid to shout them out if you know any of these. So, right off the top, we get Nightbreed on 4K. You don't know who that is, right?
Never. Nope.
Well, I believe that, actually, I don't think I've ever seen it. This was actually directed by Clive Barker. He is the guy who actually wrote the Candyman story. Did you know that?
Okay.
The original Candyman he wrote that story. That's basically...
I'm thinking about Camaro when you said that.
Oh, yeah. Can't say it on air, but let's just say that Tony Todd has an attraction to women. We can confirm that. But anyway, he's fantastic as Candyman. Clive Barker wrote that original story, and he wrote the Hellraiser, and he directed the first Hellraiser movie. So Nightbreed, he directed that, it looks like. I haven't seen that in a long time, actually. Even if I don't know if I even did see it. I might be wrong. But anyway, that's coming in August. I'm excited for that. Do you know that one?
No.
No, you don't. And coming to Blu-ray, we're getting Little Nicky.
I love Little Nicky. Adam Sandler doesn't do any wrong for me.
No, yeah, you're an Adam Sandler freak. Little Nicky's one of his most underrated movies.
I love that movie. Absolutely love that movie. I don't think we've seen that movie in a long time.
I haven't seen it in a long while. That Popeye's chicken is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love the that Dan Marino's asking. He's like, you gave Joe Namath the Super Bowl. He's like, Joe was coming here anyway. If you're a Jets fan, I think that Joe Namath really did sell a soul of the devil because we have not even sniffed a Super Bowl since Super Bowl 3.
He was coming here anyway.
He was coming here anyway. But here's the big one for me, from as a '90s kid: Hackers coming to 4K. Matthew
I've heard
Lillard.
of it, but
Angelina Jolie, Matthew Lillard. It's a fantastic film. It's ridiculous. It's, you know, the internet was early, so this is a movie like kind of dealing like they don't know what the web is and all these, everyone's hacking into things. Like, they didn't know what the internet was yet. It was so new, so this is kind of like how they imagined it would be. It's a fun movie, though. It really is. It's so 90s, though.
Okay.
I think you'll really enjoy it. That's coming on 4K. And that, it looks like that's from the Shout Select brand, so you could probably expect no slipcover on that if you've been buying Shout Select. And I actually just grabbed this week, in last week's 4K sale from Shout Factory, I got The Last Detail, which is a Shout Select 4K. No slipcover on that. And that review's coming this week. Then we also got Assault on Hill 400, which I have never seen. And we are getting another Shaw Brothers classic. So if you're a fan of classic martial arts films, these are the kinds of movies that you'll like. And, you know, I think this is the second or third part of
I
that.
actually like martial arts films.
We've seen a couple together. I know you said you grew up and your stepdad was a big fan of martial arts movies,
We used to watch a ton of them as a kid. I don't know the names because I was so young. I was like 8, 9, so I don't remember every single one I watched. But some of them have really good stories.
Yeah, I mean, I like Enter the Dragon a lot. You know, Bruce Lee's movies were great.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like John Wick so much, because of the martial arts.
They call, you know what they call that, right? They don't call it they call it gun fu.
Gun fu, but they're doing other stuff too.
Oh yeah, I mean they're hitting each other, but the way they move around is like a martial arts movies. You know, they're just using guns instead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all choreographed. It's one big dance, and it's fantastic. I love the John Wick movies. John Wick 4 comes to 4K, I believe, in a couple weeks on June 13th. I actually haven't pre-ordered that yet. I'm not too sure which version I should get. If I should get the Walmart exclusive, the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. Not 100% sure which one. Yeah, we have a physical media question for you when we get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to let you down. But I will be blowing all of our money on 4Ks. A couple other things that got...
On 4K.
Yeah. Here's something really funny that got announced for 4K today. I don't even know what studio did this, but it's $50. It's the Ghouls 2-disc collection edition.
Little green ghoul.
Yeah, exactly. That's what a ghoul looks like in case you've never seen it. So that's coming.
What's so funny is I was listening to the Always Sunny podcast.
All right, what are some of your likes?
Ghouls.
Son of a bitch. What are you talking about now?
Funny little green ghouls.
And they, I think a few weeks ago, and they were talking about
what
ghouls would look like.
Yeah.
And like what you envision them to look like. Like ghouls aren't really scary. But
No, they're like menaces. Yeah.
Yeah, like they cause mischief.
They cause problems for everyone.
I was
The cover. So that's coming to 4K. I've never seen a Ghouls movie. Right now you can pre-order that for $50. I don't know if that's worth it, but I mean, hey, if you're a fan of ghouls and little green ghouls, then you are going to be a very happy camper with that one. So definitely you can pre-order that. Warner Brothers announced a couple 4Ks. One of them is Rio Bravo, which I have never seen. And
Never even heard of it.
Really? It's one of the most famous movies ever. It's got John Wayne in it.
Okay.
You know who John Wayne is, right?
Yes, I know who John Wayne is.
It's the Duke.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably haven't seen too many westerns in your time, have you?
No, I'm not a Western person.
No. Have you seen any?
The ones that you put on, maybe, but I don't even know their names. I probably fall asleep within 20
Okay,
minutes.
well, first of all, how dare you, because they're fantastic. And then another one, and this is where James Dean really took off, was with East of Eden. That's coming to 4K. So Warner Brothers, they're celebrating their 100th anniversary this year, so they're releasing a ton of movies, you know, to celebrate their past and history. I have a few of them, actually, like Cool Hand Luke, Maltese Falcon, and Rebel Without a Cause, which is probably what James Dean is most known for. But I've never seen Rio Bravo, so what do you think? Should I pre-order that?
No.
No? Not just
Nope.
shoot me right down, all right?
I'm going to tell you no every time.
I know you will, and then you know what happens. Then it just
you
shows
get
up.
packages out the front door in the mailbox.
Yep. Also, guys, I don't know if it's still going on at the moment of this, but some Kino Lorber stuff is available for on Amazon for 4Ks right now for like $20. So if you're a fan of like movies like Serpico, you can grab that pretty cheap right now. It's still going on at this very moment that I'm looking at it, and our friend Rico Gomez passed that along to me to let you guys know. So if you guys want to grab some of those, you know, if you have any your eyes on some 4Ks from Kino Lorber, you can get those on sale. But that's really it as far as news goes. A lot of good stuff coming to 4K. I grabbed some new 4Ks from those previous sales. I got Happy Death Day 1 and 2 on 4K.
I love those.
I know. I'm excited. I can't wait to dive into those. I haven't seen the 4Ks. We used to have the Blu-rays. I sent them over to Matt's, actually, in the doubles package.
Yeah.
With To Live and Die in LA, so you can check those out. But I think he actually has the 4Ks too. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those. Might have to... I think eventually when we finally start a Patreon, I might do some giveaways with like my doubles instead of selling them. Because, you know...
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, for the fans, you know. They let them get some...
That would be nice.
Start someone's, like... I was thinking like a collection starter kit. Like,
I mean, I'm sure that people that watch you already have a collection.
I'm 100% sure that they do. But, you know, you never know. Some people, like... You know, people always ask, like, where do you start a collection? Like, you know, some people, when they want to start collecting movies, like, where do you begin? And the best way is always, like, you know, cheaper stuff. Like, always try and get, like, bargain bin stuff. And then start collecting, like, the boutique labels, like Shout Select, Shout Factory, Arrow Video, Criterion. I still think Criterion's the best, in my personal opinion. But they speak to me. They speak to me with their stuff. Especially with some of their releases, like Wall-E and Malcolm X. Like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are...
It's beautiful.
They do some fantastic work. Thelma and Louise,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, you know, that just came out this week. Look at our review for that. That is the best 4K I have seen this year. Just top of the line stuff. Visuals, audio, packaging. It's perfect. I mean, if you haven't seen Thelma and Louise, also check that out. I mean, the Hans Zimmer score. I could go on and on about that one.
He just listens to scores. Like, he doesn't listen to music, like words. He just listens to scores. It's absolutely nuts.
Well, I mean, Thelma and Louise put me in a Hans Zimmer mood.
Yeah, but who gets in a Hans Zimmer?
You can go to a concert and see Hans Zimmer play.
I know, but like, who... I don't know.
I mean,
You're the only person I've ever heard that likes that.
I wanted to listen to the Days of Thunder score the other day.
I'm listening to...
Yeah, you listen to 50.
Get Rich and Die Trying.
Yeah, if you guys are 50 Cent fans, I think he's going out on the road for the 20th anniversary of Get Rich and Die Trying.
I want to go.
Which I always thought the movie was based on his... It's based on his life, but
some of it
it's like, but it's a loose autobiographical tale. It's not like a one-for-one, right? Mm-hmm. Which I always thought it was, and then I found that out. Did you know that 50 Cent actually had 2 video games, too?
No, I didn't know that.
Blood on the Sand, and I don't remember what the other one was. It might have been Blood on the Sand, too.
He has his hands in everything.
Oh, yeah. He got in on the ground floor on, what was that? Vitamin Water. Vitamin Water. He was in on the ground floor on that. That made him really rich. And Tony Yayo lives right by us. So if you guys are a fan of Tony Yayo, Faith actually knows him personally.
The way you say, personally.
Yeah, well, he calls you Snooki.
That's funny.
Or wasn't your Twitter name like Little Snook?
Yeah, because everybody used to say that, but I don't think I don't look like her anymore. Maybe
not
when
anymore.
I was younger,
no, when you were younger, yeah, you definitely did, because you were different looking back then.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, you had thicker eyebrows back in the day. Your hair was always straight.
Okay.
You know, I mean, yeah. I was a young whippersnapper once too. Remember, you started dating me when I was 18, just a boy.
Yeah.
I was just a kid.
Both little kids.
Yeah, we were just kids.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at us. House, 2 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I look better. Okay. Let's be honest. That's really it as far as news goes, guys. So we're going to dive now into the Q&A portion of this show, because we actually have a lot of questions. A lot of you guys asked some questions.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So we'll start off with Rico Gomez. Faith says she's a huge Star Wars fan.
Hi, Rico.
But can you ask her, does she feel any difference in how the series has gone under Disney?
Okay, so I actually like what Disney did.
Do you? So do I, actually, overall.
Overall, I like what Disney did. There's a few, like The Force Awakens is...
a masterpiece.
I mean, they did definitely take some stuff from the originals.
It's a New Hope recreation.
And they recreated it.
For a modern day, pretty much.
They did... I thought that one was great.
I think it's their best Star Wars movie. in my opinion.
The Return of the Jedi.
You mean The Last Jedi? The one that came after that?
Oh yeah, The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I think they lost it with that one because the whole Rey thing, like they try to make it seem like anybody can have the Force when the third one kind of erased that whole theory too. So it was a waste of time.
Well, it was a mess is what happened. The problem was they didn't have a plan going in. They just said, okay, J.J. Abrams, you get your Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson, you get your Star Wars movie. And I think Josh Trank was actually supposed to originally direct the third one, and then they pulled back and gave it to J.J. Abrams because of all the hate with The Last Jedi. So then it just became a jumbled up mess, and then somebody was like, hey, I know what we can do. You guys ever heard of the Emperor? No, the Star Wars fans, they love this guy. They love this guy. Bring him in for the final movie, and everyone will go home happy. And I absolutely despise The Rise of Skywalker.
No, I didn't. I did not like that. I like The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
As a show, I like The Mandalorian. I think they're doing a great job with that. Rogue One is completely underrated.
It's very underrated.
Completely underrated. I love that because you don't have an attachment to any of those characters in that movie. And so you're not losing anything. But you do get a backstory of how that came to be.
Yeah, in the first Star
Wars. So I absolutely love it.
I agree.
So I like what they're doing. Some things that they're doing. Not everything. I don't agree with every single movie. But once you recreate something and you're trying to add on to a storyline, it's really hard.
It is.
It's hard. You know, they're recreating Harry Potter.
How do you feel about that on Max? I think it's a series, right?
I'm not happy about it at all, but at the end of the day we'll see how they do, and maybe it'll be better because let's face it, was it the Chamber of Secrets?
That's the second book, the second film. Yeah,
the acting was not that great. I think it was the first
few movies, but they were young, they were kid actors.
But yes, so that's what I'm saying. So I'm hoping that it's them not young.
I don't know what their plan is.
And who's gonna be playing Snape? Like that. Those are the questions. Because like I saw, I think what's his name? He's in the Force Awakens.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver would be an amazing Snape.
Adam Driver would be a fantastic Snape, and I believe he's worked with Warner Brothers in the past. I mean, he's really worked with Disney. I mean, he was Kylo Ren. Yeah. So, I mean, Adam Driver
the dark hair,
the dark, long, straight hair. Yeah, he naturally looks like it, and he has that darkness to him. Yeah.
Just like his personality, straight face.
I mean, Adam Driver can do anything. I mean, House of Gucci, Marriage Story.
He can do. I think he would do fantastic.
What was that movie we saw a few years ago about? It was a town in New Jersey. It's the name of a movie. Oh my God, the name of a town. It's a movie. He plays a mailman or a bus driver. Fuck.
Did I see that?
Yes, you did. You did see this movie. You watched it with me. It starts with a P. It's
looking it up?
Yeah, it's a city in New Jersey. Like, it starts with a P. It's a great movie. It's a little movie. It's just this contained character study of this guy. Remember, you remember the scene with his notebooks when they got destroyed?
I don't think I saw this, John.
I'm telling you. Oh, here it is. Patterson.
I don't remember it.
You don't remember this? Like, no. I know you watched it.
Who's in it?
It's Adam Driver. Who else was in it with him? Galashifa Farini.
I don't know who. I don't think I saw it, John.
I'm telling you, you were sitting next to me. We
and
enjoyed
I probably fell asleep.
Yes, this does happen often. So, I think you guys definitely should. If you haven't seen Patterson, it's a great little movie. Who's the director on this, actually? You guys have definitely heard of this guy. Jim Jarmusch, that's who directed that movie. So, he also did the movie The Dead Don't Die, Adam Driver and Bill Murray in that. He works with Bill Murray a lot. I think they did St. Vincent, I want to say. They've worked together a few times. But Jim Jarmusch, good movie. Anyway, we got way off topic. This was a Star Wars question, and we ended up talking about Jim Jarmusch. so
but I love The Force Awakens. So I can say I like some of the direction that they're going. So there's some good things and some not good things, but overall I could say I'll give it a B.
Give it a B. All right, I think that's fair. I think I'd give it like a C because I felt like the Book of Boba Fett only really worked because of the Mandalorian tie into it, and then obviously getting young Luke Skywalker again. And I haven't even seen Andor yet, which I heard is great, but I haven't seen it.
Some people didn't like Andor, too. We haven't seen it, but some people didn't like Andor.
I've heard good...
And that's the only reason why I haven't seen it, is because I'm like, I don't want to waste my time. I have other stuff that I like to watch.
You watch 46 shows a week. You can't fit Andor in?
Because I watch so many shows.
Just stop watching 90 Day Fiancé and you can watch Andor.
Because it's 90 Day Fiancé is absolutely amazing. And
okay.
Okay?
Fine. All right, next question is also from Rico, and he wrote... which Bond would you not trust to bodyguard your wife? I think Sean Connery is a no-brainer, but which one would you? Ask Faith which Bond she would want to be her bodyguard while you were away. Which one did you want to be your bodyguard?
Pierce Brosnan.
You want Pierce Brosnan to be your bodyguard?
Yeah.
I don't think he's the strongest Bond. He's the best-looking Bond.
Well, that's why.
Oh, you want a Bond to bang. I get that. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, if I was going to pick a Bond to bang, he's probably the best. Yeah.
Daniel Craig, too, but...
Daniel Craig is definitely the best protector. Him or Timothy Dalton, I would think.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan. Absolutely.
That's a mistake on your part. I guess if you just want some eye candy and a good bang, that's fine.
But why wouldn't he be good?
I mean, he's still Bond, but if you want somebody to be your bodyguard, wouldn't you want, like, the more straight-laced Bond?
So who did you think?
I would think Timothy Dalton or Daniel Craig. Connery.
Connery, God, his voice. And
he's
gonna smack me around.
Yeah, he's definitely good. Well,
yeah.
Don't speak back. Don't talk back. He makes it very clear.
And then
sometimes you just have to give him a little slap. Just, and that's it.
Yeah, no, not him.
He's an old-fashioned guy.
R.I.P.
I love Sean Connery. I mean, that's Henry Jones Sr. also. Let's not forget. Okay?
But yeah, I think Pierce Brosnan probably, or Daniel Craig. It has to be one of those two.
That makes sense. They're my favorite Bonds, too. I mean, I really love Timothy Dalton, though.
I don't think I've seen them, so that's fine.
The Living Daylights and License to Kill, they're very underrated. I mean, they're the 80s Bonds movies.
I must have scared the living daylights out of her. James Bond.
Yeah,
that was like their first, that was their second attempt at trying to do a more serious Bond. Like George Lazenby, and then eventually Daniel Craig became the most serious Bond. Where they didn't even have a lot of the tropes in all of his movies. They tried a little bit, but not like in the other ones.
Yeah.
I think it was in Casino Royale. It's like, how would you like a margarita? He said, do I look like I give a damn?
Oh.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then Pierce Brosnan, I mean, the first time I saw Pierce Brosnan wasn't actually in a Bond movie.
Who would you want to be cast as Bond? And I hear like this argument that people say there shouldn't be another Bond.
No,
that
you
they should leave it alone.
No. You keep going.
I don't know. I've heard that argument from the internet.
I don't even know who
like
I would pick. I was really one of those people that was on board with Idris Elba for the longest time, but then he got too old, so you can't do it anymore.
I mean, there's a man. Okay, so if you watch Snowfall.
Oh yes.
Damson Idris, I think, would be an amazing Bond.
I could see. Does he have the looks though? Does he have like that charm?
Have you seen him?
I mean, I've seen the show. I watched the first 2 seasons with you. So yeah, I mean, I just.
So yeah, definitely, and the accent, absolutely.
Well, that's why I was kicking around like maybe like Daniel Kaluuya, but I don't know if he has that straight-laced look.
Daniel Kaluuya is more like a villain.
He could be a Bond villain.
He looks like a villain. He doesn't look like, I don't know. He has that villain look. The dark eyes, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who. I've heard that they're gonna. I've heard a few options that have been kicking around, but I don't know who's officially gonna get. I mean, he's got to be British. Like, I don't like the British or Scottish. You can't cast an American. I think it has to be somebody who's not American.
Yeah,
it's not an American franchise, so I don't think you cast an American.
Yeah, but they cast people from different countries to play Americans.
They do. I mean, British actors, they do a great job of changing their voices. It's incredible.
Well, again, Damson Idris. Yeah. If you heard his voice and how he sounds on Snowfall, literally completely different. He is Franklin Saint. Like, he turns into Franklin Saint.
Okay.
So, I think if you haven't watched Snowfall, watch Snowfall and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. It's not anybody. He doesn't play anything close to a Bond character in the show.
No,
but his real life persona is very.
He's a crack dealer on the show. Very different from Bond.
Yes, but his real life persona is very classy and just very British.
I get that. No, you can. I mean, hey, that's what it is. He's a very British character. Although, when they changed it for Sean Connery to Scottish, because Sean Connery's Scotch. But yeah, no, I guess that's a good option. I like your thought process on that. You put some thought into who should be Bond. I'm surprised you didn't say me, which bothers me a little bit, but it's fine. But we have a couple. All right, thanks Rico for those questions. We have a couple from Frank Rodriguez who says, "What June releases are you looking forward to in physical media?" Mine is Creepshow, Vanilla Sky, and Insidious. Okay,
Well, that's more for you.
Well, this is definitely a John question.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to give you guys, because I have a bunch of these already pre-ordered, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I have pre-ordered and what I'm most excited for.
And you can see my face get really upset about all the pre-order.
Do I look like I give a damn? So, right off the top, we got a bunch of Tom Cruise movies coming that I'm excited for, including Rain Man, which is coming on June 13th.
And I love Tom Cruise, so I'm into that.
I actually didn't pre-order Vanilla Sky because they have 2 Paramount releases coming out on the same day, Vanilla Sky and The Firm. I pre-ordered The Firm. That's probably the one I'm most excited for, is The Firm. I also have Insidious pre-ordered. I'm very excited for that as well. I can't wait for that. I'm not excited for the Avatar 4Ks. I reached out to Disney to see if they would send them to me. I've never gotten a review copy of a movie in my entire life.
We're not Avatar fans. I wouldn't even buy it.
Well, like I said, that's why I reached out to them, because I don't want to buy the 4Ks, but I'm curious. I don't like the Avatar movies, but I'm curious about how these 4Ks are going to look, because I saw Avatar: The Way of the Water in the movies, and that variable frame rate is beautiful, because it's bouncing between 24 and 48 frames per second, and it looks gorgeous, and I'm sure it's going to be...
So you're going to spend your money on something that you don't like?
I didn't say that I didn't pre-order them. I said I reached out to Disney.
I just want to make that clear.
I mean, I don't want to let them down. So then, I also pre-ordered Creepshow. I'm very excited for as well. And then this is a big one for me. Mallrats on 4K.
Oh, yes.
Arrow Video. Yeah, we like Fates of Kevin Smith.
You should tell them what happened.
Oh, yeah. So, even though Matt's not on the show, you guys remember Matt. So
Rip
anyway,
Rip.
So you guys know that Matt's getting married. I am going to be the ordained for the wedding. I'm going to be Father John that day. And so Matt sent an invitation. Well, Matt's fiance sent an invitation to Kevin Smith, and he actually responded. He replied and said, "I can't make it to the wedding, but I'll see you guys on the boat." Or he said, "I'll see you kids on the boat." And Matt didn't even realize it was Kevin Smith that responded to that, even though me and Faith and Matt and his fiance, we're going on a cruise in February.
February, yep.
February. We're going on a cruise with Kevin Smith. So that was really cool that he wrote back to him. But yeah, so Mallrats. I'm a big fan. Obi, stop crying. Sorry, our dog's looking in and he's whimpering. Waterworld is coming to 4K. I've seen Waterworld once and I hated it. I pre-ordered it on 4K from Arrow Video because also people have told me that the TV version of that movie is actually the best version to see it in. Now this is considered one of the world's biggest failures in film history.
But you pre-ordered it.
I did. It's already pre-ordered. I want to see it again. It's been too long to not see Waterworld. Because, your views change on movies.
They do. Okay, so this is where I'm going to say.
We actually have a question about views changing on movies.
Okay.
So don't answer that yet.
Okay.
But anyway, so to continue with this question, so those are probably my biggest ones that I'm excited for. Vacation's coming to 4K.
Woo!
I know you're excited about that. So yeah, I think that those are probably, I would probably put Mallrats at my most anticipated
absolutely.
June. And then closely followed by The Firm and Creepshow. I'm really excited about all of those. Waterworld, I'm more nervous about, let's put it that way. I'm really hoping I'm not throwing my money away.
You are.
Okay. I haven't seen it in so long. And yes, it's considered a horrendous failure with the amount of money they spent on it, but you never know. You never know. I might like it again. So, all right, back to Frank. What is one of your favorite action movies? Mine is The Long Kiss Goodnight, and of course, Die Hard. I think this is directed towards you.
My favorite action movies?
Yeah, because I think they already know that my favorite action movie is going to be a Terminator film. Even though I don't consider the first Terminator an action movie, I consider it more of a horror sci-fi movie with some action sprinkled in a little bit in there.
Is Roadhouse considered an action movie?
I mean, yeah, that's the world's best bouncer.
So I think Roadhouse is up there.
You love action. I can't believe you put Roadhouse that high.
Well, no, it's up there. I didn't say, it's number one. It's up there. But also, you have to remember, Marvel movies are part of action as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, Obi. I have to go with John Wick.
I knew you were gonna. That's what I was waiting to hear. Now, how do you feel about Point Break? Are you a Point Break and Speed fan?
I am.
Okay.
I am a Point Break fan. Yeah, definitely.
Because we're starting to get into the summer, and I'm getting that Point Break itch. Which, how do we not have Point Break on 4K either? But whatever.
Yeah, I love Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
He's one of my he's up there like Adam Sandler and all those people that like I love. Like those people. If
You
they come
showed
out
me
with
Constantine.
Yep, Constantine's amazing, and they're coming out with another one.
I know, and he's
So
reprising his role.
excited.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I would love to see him reprise his role as Johnny Utah. I mean, that movie.
I mean, I think he's too old to be playing Johnny Utah.
I'm an FBI agent.
And he's surfing again. Like, come on.
Do you like Die Hard?
Absolutely love Die Hard.
Okay.
But that, like you said, those go along with Christmas movies too. So my brain
I'm glad
doesn't.
that we agree that Die Hard's a Christmas
So
movie.
my brain doesn't automatically go to that part.
We have a Christmas tradition here in the house where the Friday after Thanksgiving, we put up our tree and we start our Christmas movie watch along. And the first movie we do every year is what, Faith?
Die Hard.
Die Hard. That's how we start the Christmas season. The Christmas season cannot begin until Hans Gruber takes over Nakatomi Plaza.
Well, for you.
You watch Christmas movies, you just don't stop at Christmas movies.
I love Christmas movies.
You love a very specific Christmas movie that I bet you a lot of people don't love, and that's Christmas with the Cranks.
I love that movie.
You are a huge
Better
Christmas.
close the curtains.
Yeah, you're a big Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah, I
What
like
is your
them.
favorite Christmas movies? It's still. It was
It's
when
like-
we met. It was a Christmas story.
Oh, Christmas, but I feel like I watched it so many times. So now A Christmas Vacation is kind of creeping in there.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation.
Because that doesn't get old to me.
It never gets. I can watch that. We both watched that a couple times a season.
Yeah,
Christmas
it
Vacation
doesn't
is
get old to me.
Fantastic. I love
It
Christmas.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't get old. So yeah, that I love Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Both
great.
1 and 2.
2 is. I love it. I think that the actual scene of them trying to break in is actually funnier than in the first Home Alone, but with, now they're the sticky bandits and not the wet bandits anymore. But I love that. He's just throwing the bricks off, and the fact that Harry isn't getting hit in the face, but Marv keeps getting. He's like, Harry, don't.
I know. And then he's like, Marv is like,
He's all
it's egging him on too
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, and then they come in. Wow, what a hole. Home Alone 2 is great.
Yeah, they're both good.
Okay, and this is a non-film question.
Okay.
Answer for both. What's the best marital advice that's been given to you? Has anyone ever really given it?
Grandma and Pop.
Yes, Grandma and Pop have given
That's
us.
his grandparents.
Yep.
But they're more of like, they told us to work all our problems out with each other. Mm-hmm. More like stick together.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody
No outside.
yes.
No
exactly.
outside interference. Like, marriage is tough. Like,
Oh, yeah.
We've been married now for 6 years, but we were together for 6 years before we even got married. So we've been together a long time. We've been through plenty of ups and downs. But we always overcome.
All the time.
Yeah.
Whether it be, cleaning up or, anything, that comes with us.
Finances. You can't let finances, overwhelm your marriage. You got to try and remember that, love is first. Like, you guys have each other. You guys, if you just do it together, you can overcome whatever the issue is.
Anything.
Yeah,
That's our motto, is that we just have to do it together. I feel like when we bring other people into our marriage, that's when it kind of, not marriage, but just our lives.
Yeah.
Like our immediate lives, I feel like that's when things kind of fall apart a little bit, because at that moment we're not in sync.
No.
We're not working together, and the last few months, I would say that we've been trying to communicate.
We're working on communication. With marriage, it's always like, you finish one thing, but you gotta keep working at it. It's like an old house. You just gotta keep, things break, you gotta fix them.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep going and just push through. People give up on their marriage.
Up too easy. Listen, if I was like everybody else, we probably wouldn't be together, or you weren't like everybody else.
Yeah.
If you were like everybody else, where it's just like, okay, this is hard. We'll be better off alone because we don't have your problems to worry about, or you don't have my problems to worry about. But at the same time, if you are a partner, and really, well, This is our dog. If you can't really see him.
No, you don't.
He finally got in. Just work everything out amongst yourselves and don't go to bed mad.
That's a big one, and I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard that advice, but
we literally live by that. I don't think, had a day where, like, we'll argue all day long, but by time night comes, we're like,
let's just
we
talk
figure it out. We figure it out.
Yeah, we talk through everything, and that's just the way it goes. Communication is key.
They have to be in here.
No, that's not happening. You're gonna knock that camera over.
Yeah, you got. Lay. You got to get out now.
So yeah, I mean, that's the best advice that we've gotten, and that's the best advice we can give to you guys.
Communication.
Yeah, it's the key to any relationship. I mean, 50% of marriages fail. I think 25% of those, they should fail, and the other 25%, I feel like people just give up easily on it, and they don't want to do the work. In marriage, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
Fate's my best friend. There are those days where I understand how a person kills their wife. But
so if anything happens to me, there is documented proof that he wants to kill me.
I'm not saying I'm gonna kill you, but I you see those news stories where people are, it's like, oh man, this guy poisoned his wife or he stabbed her to death a million times.
He thinks I'm gonna kill him all the time.
I do. I very much worry about antifreeze, anything. Like, I saw that on a Forensic Files like 20 years ago, and it's been just imprinted in my head that, she's gonna get sick of me, and then all of a sudden, it tastes a little weird. Oh, well, how'd he die? He just dropped dead randomly at 37 years old. Well, what happened? I was fucking poisoned, so make sure you keep an eye out for that.
You're the one that just admitted to it.
I didn't admit to it. I admitted to understanding how it happens. I know how it happens now. I know what causes this. How does it... People don't just come home one day and kill their wife and that's the only murder they committed. No, she probably just wouldn't shut up. I'm just saying, she wouldn't leave him alone. He had a bad day at work and now she wants to nag about the gutters. And you know what he said? I've had a fucking enough of this. And that's it. He'd rather spend his rest of his life in a prison cell with some guy named Ray. I don't know.
Go for it. Because you would not make it.
Oh, no. If I was ever going to prison, I'm just ending it right before because there's no way. I'm not making it. I'm not made for prison. That's not ending well. I'd have to, I'd have to be someone's wife. So anyway... Next up is Kevin. Thanks, Frank, for those questions. I hope we answered them great. And this one's from Kevin L. What are some movies that, in your opinion, changed drastically on second viewing? So this is what I was talking about.
Okay. So we have a few movies that I think we spoke about this last week, kind of, with the Mean Girls.
Yes, we did talk a little bit because Mean Girls was a big one for me and that actually didn't take 2 viewings. That took multiple viewings for me to finally appreciate it. The big one for me was actually Blade Runner. The first time I saw Blade Runner, it was pitched to me completely different from what that movie is. That movie is a slow burn sci-fi movie. When I first watched that movie, I was expecting a high octane sci-fi action movie because it's got Harrison Ford in it, it's directed by Ridley Scott. So it just took me by surprise. So I didn't like it the first time, but then when I went back to it, because it's so beautifully made, I absolutely love that movie, and I consider Blade Runner one of my top 10 films of all time now. So that's one that, for me, I totally did a 180 on. Actually, there was a movie recently I just reviewed again that I did a 180 on. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I know I brought it up in a review recently.
I think Con Air, for me, is a big one.
You didn't like it, or you changed?
I didn't like Con Air.
Really?
Because I saw it when I was really young.
Oh, well, I mean...
So... back then it's like, oh, this movie's so cheesy, but as you get older, you're like, that's the point of the movie.
It's supposed to be cheesy.
Be completely cheesy, and I love that movie now.
Oh, Con Air's perfect. I love Con Air. I mean, it's stupid, but it's fucking great.
That's a huge one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's some that I feel if I watch it again, I might change my mind about it. There's a few movies. Forrest Gump. I think I don't like that movie, and I think if I watched it again, I might enjoy it a little bit more.
I mean, the consensus on Forrest Gump has changed a lot. I feel like more people fall in the camp now of they think that movie's very overrated.
Overrated, okay.
Yeah, which I mean...
So maybe I was right.
Yeah, I mean, I always liked Forrest Gump. I don't think it's a perfect movie. I think Pulp Fiction should have definitely beat it for Best Picture that year. I don't think it should have gone to Forrest Gump, but that was the safe choice, I guess. You know, it's a Robert Zemeckis, but I still like Forrest Gump a lot. I really do. I think it's a good feel-good movie.
See, I don't think it's a bad movie. It's just not my cup of tea.
I can understand that.
It's just not my thing. But if I give it another try without my phone or anything like that, distract me and
sit down,
really,
let it wash over you.
Yeah, I think that could change. But definitely Con Air. I really didn't like. You're absolute Terminator.
Yeah, you came around on the Terminator.
I came around on the Terminator.
Ooh.
I can watch it.
It's the best movie ever, so I'm glad that you can actually come around on it. So,
And the Batman, I should say.
The Batman?
Yeah.
You didn't like that the first time?
No, Batman, not the Batman.
Oh, Batman 1989.
Yeah.
You mean the best Batman film
yeah,
ever?
I wasn't a big fan of that movie, and then I watched it a million, one times because of you, and now I kind of enjoy it.
We always get a good laugh out of the line, nothing to see here, Knox. These two slipped on a banana peel.
Well, watch it, boys. We've been had.
We've been had. Here's the question you were waiting for. We have 3 questions from Kevin L. This is the second, and he said, "Do you have a problem with your husband buying so much physical media?"
Abso-fucking-lutely. Oh my god. Every day. And then he said, well, it's for the channel, it's for the chat. So then I feel like I'm in a predicament.
Yeah, you want to let them down?
How can I say no? He's trying to grow something here and do something big and try to really, make something. This is his dream, so how can I say no? But I did tell him that he needs to start budgeting.
Yeah, I've been flying freely with the credit cards here to get. Well, like I said earlier in the video, I don't get review copies, so every review on this channel has been bought by me to review for you guys. Or when Matt was doing it, we've spent all that stuff out of pocket. So our views aren't influenced by anything, which is a good thing because I do feel like sometimes, not everybody, like when you get review copies, you kind of feel a little bit obligated to at least praise it somewhat because, you just got it for free.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit harder. But if I bought something with my own money, I can feel free enough to say, hey, this is how I view it. No one's here to tell me that I can't say this, and that's just it. It's my opinion on it. So that's the one positive thing.
He'll definitely go broke to do this, and I'm a little iffy bit about that. And I know he doesn't ask his viewers for anything, and he just wants to be legit or whatever. But it does cost money to do this. It's not free. It's not free. So. I told him we need to have a budget, whether it be $70 a month and that's it, with the amount of blue, or even less than 70, maybe $50 a month. I know it's hard.
Right now in August, Troma is putting out the Toxic Avenger set, and right now that's $93. So I can't have all of August be that.
But
Hackers is coming out too.
At the end of the day, you have to prioritize what you want to spend your money on. You're saying you're pre-ordering movies that you don't even like. So,
but I might like them. That's the thing. We won't know until it hits that 4K player.
But again, you have to price. It's just this common sense.
I don't like common sense. I hope we answered that question, Kevin. Thanks for putting me on the spot, buddy.
Yeah, we don't see eye to eye on that, but I gotta let him be his own man.
Yep. What? Oh, and then this is the last question of the week. And this is also from Kevin L. And Kevin asks this question every couple of weeks, and I love these questions. And they're my personal favorites. He said, what are your favorite scenes from the following movies? Forrest Gump, Casino, Training Day, Face Off, Inception, and The Dark Knight.
I love how he said Forrest Gump.
So we'll start it off with Forrest Gump. Do you have a favorite scene from Forrest Gump?
When he's running, obviously.
I was running!
Obviously. But again, I'm not a big Forrest Gump person, so that's more like for you.
I love Forrest Gump, and I want to just make sure something before I answer this, because I want to make sure I get this actor's name right. So my favorite scene in Forrest Gump is a little scene. So, in Forrest and Bubba, they first get to Vietnam, and they meet Gary Sinise's character. He's the leader, Lieutenant Dan, he ends up losing his legs and everything like that. But when they first get there, he's just giving them the whole spiel about what they do there, and he's like, you gotta take care of your feet, so make sure you're changing your socks. You know, I just love those like little lines, and he's got the cigarette dangling out of his mouth. That's my personal favorite scene in Forrest Gump. It's a silly little scene, but I don't know why. It's just a little character moment that I really love. A lot of my favorite scenes actually involve Lieutenant Dan. Like, even when they, first meet up again and they go out to New Year's and Lieutenant Dan looks miserable. He's got the confetti in his hair. I don't know. Those little
He's
scenes.
a funny character.
He is, Forrest Gump.
Yeah, he's funny.
And then what about Casino? You got a favorite scene in Casino?
The end, which is so sad.
I mean,
I was talking to you about this earlier.
It's their fault, you know? Like,
yeah, but it's sad. I mean, I guess it's a favorite because it brings everything together.
So my favorite scene in Casino, I mean, there's so many beautiful shots of Casino. I just think of the imagery of it. Like, I love the shot of the Cadillac pulling up with this white light shining down on it.
I think I have to rewatch
Casino. I'll watch Casino.
Yeah.
I love that. Great 4K, by the way.
I have to rewatch because I get that movie mixed up with Goodfellas a little bit.
I mean, they're very similar movies.
So I get
similar,
different scenes mixed up.
But that one has
but
more.
I love Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci's great in both of them. I mean, he's a monster in both movies, but even more so in Casino, I think, actually. But my favorite scene in Casino, it's a funny scene, actually, with Joe Pesci. After Ace Rothstein, played by Robert De Niro, kicks a guy from Joe Pesci's crew out of the place, he goes back there. He's like his cowboy, and Robert De Niro calls him up and he tells him what happened, and he's like, "He did that, huh?" And he hangs up the phone. He's like,
"You took your boots off. You put your feet on the table. You shit-kicking, stinky horse-smelling motherfucker. You
go back down there and you apologize to him." Get
this little guy though, like
he's got a Napoleon complex.
So it's so funny.
I mean,
he always plays a tough guy.
He is a tough guy. He's a cold-blooded killer. I mean, that's why My Cousin Vinny is probably his best role, because it kind of goes against type. He's kind of leaning into it, but he's not a murderer in that. He's kind of he's still kind of got that like attitude, but he's more of a knowledgeable. He's a more intelligent person in that. He's using his mind more.
Yeah,
he's a good lawyer. He got him off. You know, I love My Cousin Vinny. Training Day. That's.
Oh, we were speaking about that.
It's definitely in the final scene.
Definitely in the final scene, but we also like the scene where he tricks him into doing PCP, and he's like, "Oh, you like to get wet, huh?" I love it. I love that one. But when he goes, "Oh, all right." All right, I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
King Kong ain't got shit on me. I absolutely that's the best scene. That whole like.
Simmer down.
Yeah, I'm
Calm
sorry.
down.
I'm getting
You're
excited.
getting a little too excited.
I'm just done. What do you want me to do? I'm gonna Face Off.
I don't even remember that movie.
I want to take his face. Oh.
I know it's the whole idea of him taking somebody else's face and pretending like that he's him.
Okay, well, first of all, what happens is John Travolta.
If you don't know, he's the movie guy.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff I might not see. So
John Travolta, in the very beginning of this movie, Castor Troy, played by Nicolas Cage, kills John Travolta's character's son. So they are nemesis now, arch enemies, and they think that they actually killed Nicolas Cage's character. Turns out no. So they have to, unfortunately now, John Travolta has to take his face and put it on his to go into prison, infiltrate the prison, and find out where
that sounds ridiculous.
But Castor Troy, played by Nicolas Cage, wakes up, and now he takes John Travolta's face and puts it on his. So now, basically, both John Travolta and Nicolas Cage are doing impressions of the other. So Nicolas Cage is doing a John Travolta impression, and then John Travolta is doing
This sounds like the most absolutely ridiculous movie.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Like, who thought about this? Like, I want to
Well, John Woo directed it.
John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, and they're going to switch.
Yeah.
Like, who...
And it's a great movie.
All right.
Keanu Lober supposedly has a 4K coming out of this, but the best scene in that movie... it's early in the movie when Nicolas Cage is just doing all this over-the-top shit. He's like in front of a choir. He starts shaking his head, and then he's like, "I can eat a peach for hours," meaning like you can eat pussy for hours. I didn't know if you got that.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so in case you were wondering, but yeah, that's a great scene. Inception. You said you liked the scene when Leonardo DiCaprio and Elliot Page.
Yeah, like when when he's showing Elliot around.
Yeah.
And like how to control everything, how it works, how you can get really deep into it. and what not to do, pretty much. He's like showing her.
And then I like it when actually he's like, hey, do you remember how we got here? And she first realizes that they're actually in a dream, and like things start blowing up behind them. I love that. But my favorite scene in the movie is actually when Leonardo DiCaprio is walking around in that, him and his wife are walking around in the area that they made, this world that they created, and it just looks like a world you would create. It's amazing, this beautiful design. I mean, the production, I love Inception.
That's one of his, he can watch it all the time.
I want it. I'm in the mood to watch it. Listen, Nolan has a movie coming out on July 21st called Oppenheimer. I will be seeing that movie day one. I have to watch every Nolan movie before that. Again.
There's a few movies that I know you watch multiple times a year. One is Inception. Mm-hmm. Then Batman.
Yep.
The
Terminator.
Terminator, obviously.
I think this might be it, actually.
No.
No? I watch other
No. There's Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction gets watched a lot, too. Mm-hmm. But those are some of my favorite movies ever. Those are all top 10 all time for me. Mm-hmm. So...
Yeah, but again, that's how I know those.
I haven't seen Inception in a few months. Might have to put that on tonight, actually. Oh, and then The Dark Knight. What's your favorite scene in The Dark Knight?
I like when he's in the hospital and he's talking to
Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face. Mm-hmm. And he puts the...
Yep. I love that scene. And then when he's leaving, and then you just see, he's pressing the button for the hospital.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's like...
Supposedly... What happened was the bombs the explosives that they set up to explode that hospital, because it's Nolan, so he did it for real, wasn't going off, so that was...
He really blew up a hospital?
Yeah, dude, he set off an atom bomb for Oppenheimer, a real one.
Oh, wow.
Recreated it. This guy, it's fucking... Tenet with the plane, that 747, he really blew up a 747.
That's crazy. What is the budget on that?
Oh, it's insane. Nolan gets ridiculous, but it's Nolan. You know, he shoots with IMAX cameras, all practical effects, though. He doesn't rely on CGI.
That's
I
a
love
big
Nolan.
budget.
Oh, it's a huge budget. But yeah, he really does this stuff. So, in The Dark Knight, but for me, I think my favorite scene is probably the interrogation scene, but I do also...
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
The interrogation scene?
Yeah.
You never start with the head. They start to get all fuzzy, you know? The interrogation scene's great. But I actually think that the best scene in the movie is the opening scene.
Oh, absolutely.
Inspired by Heat, the robbery. No, I killed the bus driver. And then he moves out of the way, and then...
that's one of the best openings of any movie.
I know, and he had it back to back, because in The Dark Knight Rises, he did the plane scene as the opening.
Oh, with no survivors!
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, yes. Nolan, again, that's a real set, too. They did all that stuff also. Nolan, man.
Yeah.
I fucking love him.
Yeah.
So hopefully we answered that question, Kevin, and thank you all for sending in your questions. Frank, Kevin, Rico, I appreciated it. Thank you guys so much.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, Fate's gonna probably be the permanent host unless Matt.
Am I?
I think so.
Oh, jeez.
So
get used to this.
Yeah. Good luck for you guys. So we hope you enjoyed this week's show. Make sure you guys come back to next week's video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends. And ask us some questions for next week's video. We really love the questions, the Q&A portions. My personal favorite part of the show. I look forward to it every week. You know, I am a little bit of a narcissist, so I just love myself. So I love to answer questions.
Also, would you guys be interested in doing something other than talking about maybe movies the whole time? You know what I mean? Let us know. Any other personal questions?
We do this for you. Yeah.
We can just talk and,
whatever you guys want. Throw those comments in the comment section below. This show is for you guys, so we want to make you guys as happy as possible to keep you coming back. So the only way we can do that is to know what you like and dislike. Do you like how Faith looks? Let us know. Do you like how I look? I already know the answer is yes. Let us know in the comment section below. And then we'll be just seeing you around. Enjoy your week, guys.